Imagine, if you will, a quiet temple courtyard nestled high in the mountains, bathed in the silver glow of a rising moon. The air up here is cool and exquisitely still, carrying the faintest whisper of sandalwood incense from a distant unseen shrine, a scent that speaks of peace and ancient prayers. You can almost hear the gentle rustle of bamboo leaves in a breeze. You can't quite feel perhaps the distant solitary chime of a wind bell, its pure note dissolving into the vast velvet silence. Picture a garden here, not one of those perfectly manicured, ruler-straight affairs, but beautifully naturally wild with smooth, moss-covered stones that have seen centuries pass, and shadows that dance and lengthen with the moonlight, playing hide and seek with your sleepy gaze. We're here tonight to explore some deep wells of peace, to uncover a quiet wisdom that waits patiently for us. And if you happen to reach full enlightenment by the end of this story tonight, well, you're a faster learner than most of us who've been at this for, a few lifetimes. Before we dive deeper into the story, take a moment to like and subscribe, only if this journey feels worth it to you. It's always lovely to know where and when you're listening from, so feel free to share your city and the time of night in the comments below. It connects us all in this quiet space, a thread of shared stillness across the miles and the hours. Let the room grow softer, let the air turn still or hum just slightly, and now let's quietly step into the story. You find yourself sinking gently into the surface that supports you. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. This time is a gift you offer yourself, a quiet clearing in the often dense forest of your days. Feel the gentle pull of gravity, a comforting weight that anchors you, invites you to release, to let go of holding, of bracing, of trying. Notice the breath as it enters a cool stream of air, and as it leaves a warm current, carrying away whatever you no longer need to hold. Each breath is an invitation to come home to this present moment, the only moment there ever truly is. Your body, perhaps tired from its journey through the day, begins to soften. Allow your shoulders to release their quiet burdens. Let them drop a little further from your ears. Feel the muscles in your jaw. Unclench your forehead, smooth out. Imagine a wave of relaxation, like warm honey, slowly gently pouring down from the crown of your head, through your face, your neck, your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips. This wave continues down through your chest, your belly, your back, softening every muscle, every fiber of your being. Down through your hips, your legs, all the way to the tips of your toes. You are held, you are supported, you are safe, and as your body finds this ease, notice your mind. It may still be active like a pond with ripples from the day's activities. That's perfectly all right. We're not here to fight the mind or to force it into silence. Instead, we simply watch. Imagine that pond, and as you watch as you breathe, the ripples begin to calm. The surface becomes smoother, more reflective. Thoughts may still arise like leaves drifting onto the water's surface. You can acknowledge them without getting swept away by them. Ah, a thought, you might whisper internally, and then gently, kindly return your awareness to your breath or to the feeling of stillness spreading through you. This is the practice of samatha, of cultivating tranquility. It's like allowing muddy water in a jar to settle. If you keep shaking the jar, the water remains cloudy. But if you set the jar down and simply wait with gentle patience, the sediment, the busyness, the mental chatter slowly naturally settles to the bottom. and the water of your mind becomes clear, transparent, able to reflect the truth, able to receive. This evening, we prepare to receive a story, a simple tale from long ago, yet one that carries a light that still shines. To truly hear such a story, to let its wisdom seep into the deeper layers of your being, it helps to have an open heart, a receptive mind. Think of a lotus flower, its bud tightly closed at night. But as the first light of dawn touches it, ever so gently the petals begin to unfurl one by one, revealing the golden heart within. Your heart too can open in this quiet darkness, preparing to receive the gentle light of understanding. There's no effort needed for the lotus to bloom. It simply responds to the conditions, to the light, to the nourishment it receives. In the same way, you can allow your heart to open without striving, just by setting the intention to be present, to be receptive. This preparation, this quiet settling, is a profound act in itself. It's an acknowledgement that the deepest truths are often not found in the noise and the rush, but in the stillness, in the simple act of listening with your whole being. You are creating a sacred space within you, a sanctuary where wisdom can take root and blossom. And if your mind wanders, as minds often do, treat it with the utmost kindness. Imagine a gentle shepherd patiently guiding a beloved lamb back to the flock. No harsh words, no frustration, just a gentle nudge, a soft call. Come back, dear one, come back to the quiet. This self-compassion is the fertile ground upon which all inner growth occurs. You are learning to be a good friend to yourself, even in the moments when stillness feels elusive. Remember, the simple act of intending to be still, intending to listen, is enough. It is a seed planted. Tonight we will hear about a woman, a lamp, and an offering. It's a story that has been told for countless generations, whispered in monasteries, shared under starlit skies. And as you settle deeper, allow yourself to become like an empty vessel, ready to be filled, not with more doing, but with a gentle knowing. The wisdom we seek isn't about acquiring more information, but about uncovering what is already present within us, like discovering a hidden spring of clear water. The story itself will act as a gentle guide, leading you towards that inner spring. Trust the process, trust the quiet, trust the unfolding. There is nothing to achieve, only to experience, to feel, to let the story's essence permeate your being, much like the scent of that distant sandalwood incense, subtly, beautifully filling the air. Let your awareness rest now in this soft, quiet anticipation, a gentle readiness for the journey ahead. The path is lit by the soft glow of your own willingness to be here now, open and at peace. And so, as you rest in this gentle readiness, the scene begins to shift, to coalesce before your inner eye. The quiet of the mountain temple courtyard slowly fades, replaced by a soft, pervasive hum, the distant murmur of a village stirring with joyful anticipation. Imagine you are drifting, effortlessly carried on a gentle current of air down from the cool heights towards this village nestled in a valley. The moon, your companion from before, still hangs high, but now its silver light is joined and then almost outshone by 1,000 twinkling points of light on the earth below. It is a time of festival, a special night dedicated to offering light, a celebration of illumination and reverence. As you draw closer, the air becomes warmer, touched with the scent of oil lamps, sesame mustard, perhaps a hint of fragrant ghee. You see homes, simple dwellings, and grander structures alike, each one outlined, adorned, almost embroidered with tiny flames. Lamps line the pathways flicker. In windows, hang from eaves cluster on doorsteps. The entire village shimmers, pulses with light. It's a breathtaking spectacle, a river of gold flowing through the darkness. You can almost feel the collective energy, the shared purpose of the villagers, as they have prepared for this night, each contributing their own small beacon to the sea of light. Children, their faces alight with excitement, dart like fireflies between the displays, their joyful laughter echoing softly. Elders sit quietly, their faces serene, watching the flames dance, perhaps remembering festivals from their own youth, the unbroken chain of tradition. Notice the sheer abundance, the multitude of lamps. Some are elaborate, crafted from polished brass or fine terracotta, their wicks carefully trimmed, their flames burning steadily, proudly. Others are simpler, humbler, a small clay dish, a hollowed-out piece of fruit, yet each one contributes its own unique sparkle to the overall brilliance. It is a visual symphony of light, a testament to the community's devotion. You see families moving together, adding their own lamps to the growing display, their movements unhurried, imbued with a sense of quiet ritual. The light reflects in their eyes, softens, their features creates an atmosphere of warmth and shared joy. The darkness of the night is not banished, but rather made beautiful, punctuated by these countless hopeful flames. Yet even amidst this dazzling display, as you drift and observe, you might begin to sense something more, a deeper current beneath the surface beauty. The Buddhist teaching of dana, or generosity, comes to mind. Giving is a cornerstone of the path, a way to cultivate non-attachment, compassion, and interconnectedness. These lamps are all acts of giving offerings of light, but the teaching reminds us that the true value of an offering lies not just in its outward appearance, its size, or its material worth, but in the intention, the sincerity, the purity of heart behind it. A grand display can be empty if the heart is not truly present, while the smallest offering given with genuine devotion can hold immense power. This festival, with its thousands of lamps, is a beautiful expression, but the deepest teachings invite us to look beyond the sheer quantity, to sense the quality of the offering, the spirit from which it arises. Imagine yourself pausing by a particularly grand display in front of a wealthy merchant's house. Dozens of lamps made of silver and bronze burn with bright, expensive oil, casting a wide, impressive circle of light. The merchant stands nearby, perhaps accepting compliments, his face beaming with pride. It is a significant offering, no doubt. And then your gaze might drift to a quieter corner where an elderly woman carefully tends a single tiny lamp, her movements slow and reverent. Her offering is almost lost in the glare of the larger displays, yet there is a palpable sense of devotion surrounding her, a quiet intensity in her focus. Which light, you might wonder, shines brightest in the eyes of wisdom? This reflection is not to judge, but to invite a gentle curiosity about the nature of true offering. We often get caught up in outward appearances, in the desire to impress or to feel that we are doing enough. But the path of wisdom encourages us to look inward to the source of our actions. Consider your own life, the ways you offer your time, your energy, your kindness. Do you sometimes focus more on how it will be perceived rather than the simple, pure intention behind the act? This is a very human tendency, and it's okay to notice it without criticism. The Festival of Lights, in its vibrant display, offers a perfect mirror for this reflection. It shows us the beauty of collective effort, but also gently prompts the question, what is the nature of the heart that gives feel a sense of gentle acceptance for all the ways offerings are made both grand and humble? The village is truly radiant. The combined light pushes back the deepest shadows, creating a haven of warmth and celebration. The air itself seems to vibrate with a gentle energy. You can hear the soft crackle of wicks, the occasional murmur of voices, the distant sound of a flute playing a simple, sweet melody that weaves through the night air like a silken thread. Each flame, no matter its size or brilliance, is a prayer, a hope, a symbol of the light of awareness that can dispel the darkness of ignorance. But as you absorb this scene, a deeper understanding begins to dawn. The most profound offerings are not always the most visible. They are the ones infused with a sincere heart, a selfless wish. The true measure is not the brightness of the lamp, but the purity of the intention that lit it. As you continue to observe the shimmering village, let the multitude of lights become a soothing presence. Allow the gentle flicker and dance of the flames to lull your mind into a deeper state of relaxation. Each light is a point of focus, yet together they create a soft, encompassing glow. The village is alive with this offering, a collective breath of light. And somewhere within this sea of brilliance, a story is unfolding, a story about one particular lamp and one particular heart. The festival provides the backdrop, the context for an offering that will be remembered for its unique and enduring light, a light that transcends the mere physical act of burning oil. The true seeking is not for more lamps, but for an offering that resonates with the deepest truth of the heart. Now, as the panorama of the light-filled village settles in your mind's eye, your focus begins to narrow, to be drawn as if by an invisible thread away from the grand displays and bustling thoroughfares towards the quieter, less adorned edges of the celebration. You drift past homes where the lamps are fewer, simpler, their glow perhaps a little softer, a little more modest. The sounds of joyful celebration become more muted here, replaced by a stillness that speaks of lives lived with less, yet perhaps with a different kind of richness. You are moving towards the periphery, where the bright heart of the festival meets the quiet embrace of the ordinary night. And it is here, in a humble dwelling, almost hidden in the shadows cast by larger, more prosperous homes, that your attention comes to rest. Peering gently with the soft gaze of your inner awareness, you perceive a woman. She is not young, her face etched with the lines of a life that has known hardship, her hands gnarled from work. Yet there is a light in her eyes, a deep yearning that transcends her weary frame. She stands near her small, sparsely furnished home, looking out at the distant glow of the festival, hearing the faint echoes of its joy. Her heart, you can sense, is full of the same devotion, the same desire to participate, to offer light to the Buddha, to honor this sacred occasion as everyone else in the village. She watches the flickering lamps in the distance, a constellation of human hope and reverence. Her breath catches just slightly with a sigh that is not of despair, but of a deep, unspoken wish. She possesses so little in material terms. The grandeur of the main festival, the abundant offerings of oil and ornate lamps, are far beyond her reach. Imagine her looking at her own empty hands, feeling the stark contrast between the poverty of her means and the richness of her devotional spirit. This isn't a feeling of bitterness, but a poignant awareness of her limitations. She has nothing, it seems, to offer. No fine oil, no decorated lamp, not even a simple clay dish that isn't already essential for her meager existence. This is a moment of deep human experience, one that perhaps resonates with your own life in some way. Have you ever felt a profound desire to contribute, to give, to participate in something beautiful or meaningful, only to feel constrained by your resources, by your perceived limitations? It is a vulnerable place where the spirit's aspiration meets the world's hard realities. The woman in our story embodies this. Her desire to offer light is not a fleeting whim. It is a profound stirring of her soul, a genuine wish to connect with the sacred, to express her reverence in the traditional way of her people. She feels the teachings of generosity of Dana deep within her. She knows that giving purifies the heart, that it creates merit, that it connects one to the stream of goodness. And her heart aches with the wish to be part of that stream, to add her own small drop of light to the ocean of offerings. The Buddha she knows taught that the intention behind an act is paramount. But how can she manifest that intention when she has nothing to manifest it with? This is her quiet struggle, her internal contemplation, as she stands in the shadows, observing the distant radiance. Think of a tiny seed dormant in dry earth, holding within it the potential for a magnificent tree. The woman's wish is like that seed, full of potential, yet lacking the conditions to sprout. Her poverty is the dry earth. But the life force within that seed, the yearning in her heart, is strong, persistent. She doesn't turn away in defeat. Instead, she continues to gaze at the festival lights, her mind perhaps searching, exploring any possibility, however remote. This unwavering wish, this refusal to let her circumstances extinguish her devotional spark, is the first glimmer of her own inner light, a light that needs no external oil to burn. As you observe her, feel a wave of compassion, not pity, but a deep, empathetic understanding. Her situation is a powerful reminder that true wealth is not measured in coins or possessions, but in the qualities of the heart, in sincerity, in devotion, in the unwavering aspiration for good. She is poor in the eyes of the world, yet her spirit possesses a treasure that many who are materially wealthy might lack. Her yearning is pure, untainted by any desire for recognition or reward other than the simple joy of offering. This is the essence of selfless giving. Allow yourself to rest with this image of the woman standing alone with her powerful, unfulfilled wish. Feel the silence around her, a silence that amplifies the quiet determination growing within her. The glow of the distant festival serves not to mock her poverty, but to fuel her resolve. Her heart is a vessel empty of material offerings, but overflowing with sincere devotion. And in the world of the spirit, such a vessel is precious indeed. It is in these moments of quiet desperation, when the desire to give is so strong, yet the means are so scarce, that the true ingenuity of the human spirit and the depth of its faith can reveal itself in most extraordinary ways. Her single humble wish, born in the quiet of her impoverished heart, is about to set in motion a chain of events that will illuminate far more than just a single night. The woman's yearning, that pure, unwavering wish to offer light, does not simply remain a passive ache in her heart. It begins to coalesce into a quiet determination, a resolve that flickers to life within her, much like the first catch of a flame on a waiting wick. She cannot bear the thought of the night passing of the festival concluding without her having made some gesture, however small, to honor the Buddha. The teachings on effort on Viriya come to mind, the understanding that spiritual progress requires not just passive wishing, but also diligent, energetic striving, even against difficult odds. Her poverty is a significant obstacle, a mountain before her, but her devotion fuels a courageous spirit to find a way, any way. Imagine her turning from the distant spectacle of the festival, her gaze now sweeping over her own meager surroundings, her mind actively seeking. What does she have? What tiny thing could be bartered? What small service rendered to obtain even the poorest quality oil, the simplest of lamps? Her eyes might fall upon the few possessions she has, a worn blanket, a chipped pot, items essential for her own survival. To part with any of them would mean further hardship, a deeper descent into discomfort. This is the reality of her sacrifice. It is not from abundance that she seeks to give, but from her very lack. The story often tells of her remembering a single tiny coin she had saved, perhaps hidden away, for an absolute emergency, a coin that represented days of toil or going without. Or perhaps she possessed a small trinket, something of little value to the world, but perhaps holding some sentimental worth for her. The details vary in the tellings, but the essence remains the same. She identifies something, the very last resource she possesses, the giving of which will cost her dearly. This is not a casual offering. It is an act that will require genuine sacrifice, a true test of her dedication. You see her then, setting out from her shadowed corner, moving towards the bustling village, no longer just an observer, but an active participant in her own quest. Her steps are perhaps slow, weighed down by the significance of her decision, yet there is a new light in her eyes, the light of purpose. She is not seeking riches, nor even a grand lamp. Her aim is humble, just enough oil, just a simple vessel to create one small flame. Picture her approaching a vendor, perhaps one selling lamp oil on the outskirts of the main market, away from the more expensive stalls. Imagine the negotiation, the quiet desperation in her voice as she offers her meager coin or her small possession. The vendor, accustomed to the joyful abundance of the festival, might initially be dismissive or perhaps even a little impatient. Her offering is so small, almost insignificant in the grand scheme of the night's commerce. She might face rejection or be offered the poorest quality oil, the dregs that others have spurned. This is where her perseverance, her gentle but firm resolve, shines through. She doesn't give up. She persists, perhaps explaining her heartfelt wish, her deep desire to make an offering. There's a quiet dignity in her poverty, a sincerity in her plea that might touch even a hardened heart. This moment of transaction is not just about commerce. It's a meeting of human experiences. The vendor, too, is part of this story, part of the web of conditions that will allow her offering to manifest. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of effort and quiet pleading, she succeeds. She obtains a tiny measure of oil, perhaps just enough for a few hours of light, and the simplest, roughest clay lamp, unadorned, unremarkable. Holding these precious items in her hands, cupped carefully, as if they were the rarest of jewels, she feels a wave of relief and a profound sense of gratitude. The physical cost was great. She has given what little she had, but the spiritual gain, the ability to now make her offering, fills her with a quiet joy that outweighs any material discomfort. This struggle, this earnest sacrifice, is crucial to understanding the depth of her offering. It is not easy. It requires her to confront her poverty, to swallow her pride, perhaps to endure a moment of dismissal or disdain. But her motivation, that pure wish to give acts as her unwavering guide. Think of a river flowing to the sea. It meets obstacles, rocks, fallen trees, sharp bends, but it doesn't stop. It finds a way around, over, or through its momentum, carrying it ever onward. The woman's devotion is like that river, finding its way through the obstacles of her poverty. As you reflect on her journey to acquire the lamp and oil, consider the nature of sacrifice in your own life. True sacrifice isn't about suffering for its own sake. It's about willingly letting go of something for a higher purpose, for something you deeply value. It might be letting go of comfort, of time of ego, of old habits. Her sacrifice is a powerful teaching in itself, demonstrating that the value of an offering is magnified by what it costs, the giver not in monetary terms, but in terms of what is held dear, what is clung to. She is letting go of her last material security for the sake of a spiritual aspiration. She now possesses the physical means for her offering. The lamp is plain, the oil is meager, but in her hands they are transformed. They are no longer just a clay pot and some fuel. They are the embodiment of her unwavering faith, her profound devotion, and her earnest sacrifice. The journey to obtain them has already imbued them with a special significance, a holiness that no ornate, easily purchased lamp could ever possess. She has poured her heart into this quest, and that heart energy is now infused into these simple objects. The stage is set for the offering itself, an offering that has already been consecrated by her struggle and her pure, selfless intention. With the humble lamp and the small measure of oil clutched carefully in her hands, the woman turns away from the bustling marketplace, her heart now a mixture of quiet triumph and profound reverence. She doesn't seek a prominent place amidst the dazzling displays of the wealthy. Instead, she seeks a quiet spot, a place where her small offering can be made with sincerity, undisturbed, seen perhaps only by the Buddha or by the deep knowing silence of the universe. She finds such a place perhaps at the edge of the festival grounds or in a secluded nook near a temple wall, away from the river of people and the blaze of grander lights. Here, in this chosen sanctuary of stillness, she prepares to make her offering. Her movements are slow, deliberate, filled with a sacred intentionality. Imagine her gently, carefully pouring the precious oil into the simple clay lamp. Every drop is valuable, earned through her sacrifice. There is no waste, no haste. She handles the rough vessel as if it were the finest porcelain, her touch imbuing it with a tenderness that transcends its humble form. Then she takes a wick, perhaps one she has fashioned herself from a stray thread or a bit of plant fiber, and carefully places it in the oil. Now comes the most significant moment, the lighting of the lamp. She shields the wick from any stray breeze, her body curved protectively around this nascent flame. She strikes a flint or uses a glowing ember borrowed from a nearby fire, and with a steady hand brings the spark to the wick. For a moment, there is just the potential, the unlit offering, and then a tiny flame sputters, catches, and grows into a small, steady glow. It is not a brilliant light, not a dazzling beacon. It is a modest flame, a whisper of light in the vastness of the night. But to her, it is everything. It is the culmination of her yearning, her struggle, her sacrifice. As the lamp burns, casting its gentle, intimate circle of light, you feel the purity of her devotion. There is no pride in her demeanor, no expectation of praise or recognition. Her face, illuminated by the soft glow of her own offering, is serene, peaceful. Her eyes are fixed on the flame, but her inner gaze is directed towards the qualities of the Buddha: wisdom, compassion, enlightenment. This lamp is her connection, her prayer, her heartfelt message. In this simple act, she is not just lighting a physical lamp, she is illuminating her own heart with the qualities she reveres. The Buddhist teaching of Shraddha, or faith, is palpable in this moment. Not blind faith, but a deep, trusting confidence in the path and the possibility of awakening, in the power of sincere intention. Her faith is not in an external deity who might grant wishes, but in the transformative power of her own pure aspiration mirrored in the symbolic offering of light. The flame represents the light of wisdom that dispels the darkness of ignorance, the warmth of compassion that melts away hardness of heart. By lighting this lamp, she is affirming her own aspiration to cultivate these qualities within herself. Imagine the atmosphere around her. The distant sounds of the festival are muted, softened by the intimacy of her solitary ritual. The vast night sky arches above, sprinkled with stars, as if bearing witness to this quiet act of profound significance. Her small flame, though tiny in comparison to the celestial lights or the festive blaze of the village, holds a universe of meaning. It is a universe of devotion, of selfless giving, of pure intention. There is a profound beauty in this simplicity, a power that outshines all ostentation. She may offer a silent prayer or simply sit in quiet contemplation, her heart open, her mind focused on the little flame. This is her moment of communion. The lamp is not just an object, it is a symbol of her innermost being offered up without reservation. In the Mahayana tradition, there is the concept of the bodhicitta, the altruistic intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. While the story doesn't explicitly state this, one can sense a whisper of that selfless aspiration in her offering. Her light, in its own small way, is for the awakening of all. This moment of offering is a deep meditation. Her awareness is fully present, absorbed in the act. The past hardship of acquiring the oil, the future uncertainty of her poverty, all fall away. There is only this moment, this flame, this connection. It's a powerful reminder that the most profound spiritual experiences often lie not in grand visions or complex rituals, but in the simple, heartfelt engagement with the present moment undertaken with pure intention. Her offering is complete, not because the lamp is lit, but because her heart is fully engaged in the act of giving. As you witness her, feel the echo of that purity in your own heart. Perhaps there is a longing within you to offer something of yourself, something true and heartfelt to a higher purpose, to the well-being of others, or simply to the quiet unfolding of your own inner path. Her example shows that the means are secondary to the sincerity of the heart. Whatever you have to offer, if given with a pure and selfless spirit, has immense value. Her single humble lamp, lit with such profound love and sacrifice, is now a beacon, not of dazzling brightness, but of unwavering heartfelt truth. It burns steadily, a testament to the enduring power of a devoted heart. While the woman sits in quiet communion with her small sacred flame, let your awareness gently drift back just for a moment to the heart of the festival. Recall the scene you witnessed earlier, the grand displays, the avenues lined with countless lamps. the air thick with the scent of expensive oils and the murmur of admiration. The wealthy merchants, the prominent citizens, their offerings are indeed magnificent to behold. Lamps of polished brass and gleaming silver, intricate designs in terracotta, and fine porcelain burn with bright clear flames fueled by the best quality oils, casting a brilliant, almost daylight glow upon the joyful crowds. These offerings are not without merit. They represent generosity, community spirit, and a desire to participate in the sacred tradition. Many who have given abundantly have done so with sincere hearts, according to their capacity and understanding. The festival is a vibrant tapestry woven from all these threads of light, both large and small. Yet as you now hold the image of the poor woman's single humbly lit lamp in your awareness, a subtle contrast begins to emerge, a gentle questioning invited by the wisdom teachings. The Buddhist perspective on giving on dana emphasizes not just the act of giving, but the mind that gives. An offering can be vast in material terms, yet if it is tinged with pride, with a desire for recognition, or with a sense of mere social obligation, its spiritual weight is lightened. Conversely, the smallest offering given with a heart full of pure devotion, selflessness, and genuine sacrifice carries immense spiritual power. It's like comparing a large pile of chaff with a single perfect grain of rice. One has volume, the other has essential nourishment. As you observe these grander lamps, notice the energy around them. There might be a sense of spectacle of competition, perhaps a subtle vying for whose display is the most impressive. Also, conversations might revolve around the cost of the oils, the craftsmanship of the lamps, the status of the givers. This is all very human, very understandable, but it stands in gentle contrast to the profound, silent simplicity of the woman's offering, which was entirely for the act itself, for the connection with the sacred, with no thought of audience or accolade. Imagine a gentle breeze beginning to stir through the village, the first hint of a change in the night's stillness. The flames of the larger, more exposed lamps might dance and flicker a little more wildly now. The carefully constructed displays, so impressive in the calm air, now reveal a certain vulnerability to the elements. The more elaborate the lamp, perhaps the more susceptible it is to a sudden gust, the more dependent on perfect conditions to maintain its perfect burn. This isn't a judgment on those who give from their abundance. The teachings encourage joy in wholesome actions, including the joy of generous giving. However, the story gently guides us to look deeper beyond the surface. It asks us to consider, what is the true fuel of these lights? Is it merely oil, or is it something more profound? For many of the grander lamps, the fuel is indeed excellent oil generously provided. But for the woman's lamp, the primary fuel is her unwavering faith, her selfless heart, her profound sacrifice. This spiritual fuel, the story suggests, burns with a different kind of light, a light with an enduring quality that material richness alone cannot replicate. Think of a magnificent tree, laden with fruit, standing in a well-tended orchard. It is beautiful, productive, a testament to good care. Then think of a wildflower blooming bravely in a rocky crevice, its vibrant color a startling miracle against the harshness of its surroundings. Both have their beauty, their value, but the wildflower's bloom speaks of a particular resilience, a tenacity, a life force that seems to draw from an unseen inner source. The woman's lamp is like that wildflower. The grander lamps are like the orchard trees. The disciples of the Buddha and indeed the Buddha himself often taught about the subtle dangers of spiritual materialism, the tendency to accumulate spiritual practices, knowledge, or even good deeds as a way to enhance the ego rather than to transcend it. An offering, if it becomes a source of pride or self-congratulation, can subtly shift from being a path to liberation to being another form of bondage. The grander lamps, if their light serves to inflate the giver's sense of self-importance, might inadvertently cast a shadow even as they shine. Their light is bright, yet perhaps in a spiritual sense, fainter in its capacity to truly illuminate the path to awakening. This reflection is not meant to diminish the beauty or the generosity of the festival's main displays. It is simply to create a space for a deeper understanding of what constitutes true spiritual wealth. The woman's offering, made in utter humility and with complete sincerity, possesses an integrity, a wholeness that stands apart. Her lamp does not seek to compete, it simply is a pure expression of devotion. And as the night deepens and the conditions perhaps become a little more challenging, the true nature of all these different lights will be revealed. The story is preparing us for a shift, a moment where the unseen qualities of the heart will become visibly manifest. For now, hold this contrast gently, the myriad impressive flames of the festival and the solitary humble glow of one woman's profound offering. One speaks of outward abundance, the other of inner richness. And the night is not yet over. As the night wears on and the myriad lamps of the festival continue to burn, a change begins to occur, almost imperceptibly at first. The gentle breeze you might have sensed earlier, the one that made the grander flames dance, now starts to gather strength. It's no longer a playful zephyr, but a more insistent, probing wind, weaving its way through the village streets, testing the steadfastness of every flickering light. This wind is not a malevolent force, but rather an agent of revelation, an unseen hand that will sift the superficial from the substantial. Imagine this wind, cool and searching, whispering around the corners of buildings, rustling the leaves in the trees, and now beginning to tug and pull at the flames of the lamps. Those lamps that are most exposed, those burning in open courtyards or along wide pathways, are the first to feel its pressure. Their flames, once proud and steady, now lean and contort, sputtering in protest. The light they cast becomes erratic, throwing dancing, anxious shadows. You observe the reactions of the villagers. A small murmur of concern might ripple through the crowd. People rush to shield their carefully tended lamps, cupping hands around them, adjusting screens, moving them to more sheltered spots. There's a sudden busyness and effort to preserve the beautiful spectacle they have created. The joy of the festival is now tinged with a touch of anxiety, a sense of challenge from the elements. The wind grows stronger still. It is not a violent storm, not yet, but a persistent, pervasive force that seems to seek out every single flame. One by one, some of the lamps begin to succumb. A wick not perfectly trimmed is snuffed out by a sudden gust. A lamp not securely placed is overturned. The oil in some of the shallower dishes is quickly consumed as the flames burn more erratically, trying to resist the wind's embrace. The grand river of light that flowed through the village begins to show gaps, areas where darkness is reclaiming its territory. This wind can be seen as a metaphor for the challenges and difficulties that inevitably arise in our lives and on our spiritual paths. When conditions are easy, when the metaphorical air is still, it's relatively simple to maintain our composure, our faith, our practice. Our lamps, of good intention, of peace, of mindfulness, burn brightly. But when the winds of adversity blow, illness, loss, disappointment, conflict, that is when the true strength and depth of our inner resources are tested, which flames within us are strong enough to withstand the gusts, which are merely fair weather lights. The unseen hand of this wind is impartial. It does not discriminate between the lamps of the rich and the lamps of the poor, the ornate and the simple. It tests all equally. However, those lamps that are perhaps more for show, those whose flames are large and ostentatious, but whose wicks are not deeply rooted in genuine substance, may be the first to falter. A large flame, if not well supplied and well tended from a deep source, can be easily extinguished by a strong wind. Think of the teachings on impermanence anicca. Everything is subject to change, to arising and passing away. The beautiful shimmering festival, so full of light and life, is itself impermanent. The lamps, the flames, the joy of this particular night, all are transient. The wind is a natural force, a reminder of this fundamental truth. It is not an enemy, but a teacher revealing the nature of reality. Those who cling too tightly to the form, to the outward display, will experience suffering as it changes or fades. But those whose connection is to something deeper, something beyond the transient form, may find a different kind of stability. As you witness this unfolding, notice any feelings that arise within you. Perhaps a sense of empathy for the villagers, seeing their beautiful creation threatened. Perhaps a quiet curiosity about what will happen next. The story is building a gentle tension, not of fear, but of anticipation. The wind is not just a physical phenomenon, it is a narrative device, a catalyst that will bring forth a deeper truth. It is stripping away the superficial, leaving only what is truly resilient, what is truly rooted. The unseen hand of the wind moves with a relentless, quiet efficiency. It's not a destructive fury, but more like a persistent, discerning breath, blowing away the chaff, revealing the grain. Some of the most magnificent displays, the ones that drew the most admiration earlier in the evening, are now struggling, their many flames flickering precariously, some already extinguished, leaving behind only the smell of cooling wax or oil and the faint wisps of smoke. The collective brilliance of the village is dimming patch by patch. The sound of the wind now fills the air, a mournful sigh or a determined rush, replacing the earlier sounds of joyful celebration. The villagers are quieter now, watching perhaps with a sense of helplessness as nature asserts its power. The festival, which began with such human intention and effort, is now subject to forces beyond human control. This is a humbling moment, a reminder of our place within the larger web of existence. And amidst this growing darkness, this challenge to all the lights of the village, our attention will soon be drawn back to that one small, almost forgotten lamp lit with such pure devotion. How will it fare against this impartial testing wind? The unseen hand continues its work, preparing the way for a quiet miracle. As the wind continues its impartial sweep through the village, extinguishing lamp after lamp, a poignant scene unfolds. The grand displays, once so vibrant, are now largely darkened. Here and there, a particularly sheltered or well-made lamp might still flicker defiantly, but the overwhelming impression is of a festival succumbing to the encroaching night. The air is filled with the scent of extinguished wicks and the murmur of disappointed villagers, their earlier joy now replaced by a somber quiet. The collective effort, the shared creation of light, seems to be unraveling before their eyes. Now your awareness is gently guided back through the increasingly shadowed streets to that quiet, secluded spot where the poor woman made her humble offering. You approach with a sense of anticipation, perhaps even a touch of concern. If the grandest lamps, fueled by expensive oils and protected by their wealthy owners, could not withstand the wind, what hope is there for her tiny, simple clay lamp filled with the poorest quality oil? Logically, it should have been one of the first to go out, a fragile whisper of light, easily snuffed by the persistent gusts. But as you draw near, an extraordinary sight greets you. There, in its unassuming place, the woman's small lamp burns. And not only does it burn, but its flame is steady, calm, and clear. It does not dance wildly or cower from the wind. Instead, it seems to possess an inner resilience, an unwavering core of light that the wind cannot touch, cannot diminish. While all around it, the grander lights have been extinguished or are struggling to survive, this single, humble flame shines with a serene and steadfast brilliance. Imagine the woman still sitting quietly beside her lamp. Perhaps she is unaware of the extent of the darkness that has fallen elsewhere in the village. Her attention remains focused, not with anxiety, but with the same peaceful devotion she felt when she first lit it. The wind howls around her, tugging at her worn clothes, whipping her hair about her face, yet the flame of her lamp remains perfectly miraculously still. It's as if it exists in its own protected sphere, a tiny sanctuary of light, impervious to the surrounding turmoil. This is the quiet miracle at the heart of the story. It is not a flamboyant, earth-shattering event, but a subtle, profound demonstration of spiritual power. The steadfastness of her lamp is a direct reflection of the steadfastness of her faith, the purity of her intention, the depth of her sacrifice. The physical properties of the oil and the lamp are insufficient to explain this phenomenon. The explanation lies in the unseen, in the spiritual quality she infused into her offering. Consider the Buddhist teaching of metta, or loving kindness. A heart filled with genuine loving kindness, with selfless compassion, is said to possess a protective power. It creates a field of positive energy that can pacify agitation and overcome negativity. While the woman's primary motivation was devotional, her act was so pure, so selfless, that it embodied the essence of loving offering. Her lamp becomes a symbol of this protective, unwavering light of a pure heart. The contrast is now stark and deeply moving. The magnificent, expensive lamps, representing material wealth, and perhaps in some cases a degree of worldly pride, have proven fragile, their light transient. Her simple lamp, representing spiritual richness and profound humility, burns with an inextinguishable glow. It's a powerful illustration of the Buddha's teachings that true refuge, true strength, is found not in external possessions or status, but in the cultivation of inner virtue. You can almost feel the stillness around that small, unwavering flame. It's a stillness that is not disturbed by the wind, but rather highlighted by it. The sound of the wind, which elsewhere signifies loss, and the fading of light here serves only to emphasize the miracle of this one enduring flame. It's as if the flame is drawing its strength not from the meager oil in its dish, but from an inexhaustible inner source, the source of her boundless devotion. This image, the solitary, steadfast flame in the midst of the windswept darkness, is a powerful metaphor for hope, for resilience, for the enduring power of the human spirit when aligned with true sincerity. It speaks to that part of you that may have faced its own storms, its own winds of adversity. It whispers that even the smallest light, if fueled by genuine heart, can shine through the darkest of times. There is no arrogance in this flame, no triumphant blaze. It is a gentle, peaceful, and utterly unshakable light. It does not need to shout its presence. Its unwavering existence is statement enough. It is a beacon not of worldly power, but of spiritual truth. The woman herself remains humble, perhaps only now beginning to realize that something extraordinary is happening as she sees the surrounding darkness and feels the undiminished strength of her own small light. Allow yourself to rest in the presence of this steadfast flame. Feel its gentle warmth, its quiet confidence. Let it be a source of peace and reassurance for you. This is the turning point of the story, the moment when the inner quality of an offering becomes visibly manifest, defying ordinary expectations. The laws of physics seem to be gently set aside, or rather superseded by a higher law, the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, where pure intention yields a pure and powerful result. Her lamp, fueled by the invisible oil of her profound faith and selfless heart, continues to burn a solitary star in the earthly night, a testament to a light that cannot be extinguished by any worldly wind. The extraordinary sight of the single, unwavering lamp burning brightly amidst the windswept darkness, where all others have failed, does not go unnoticed for long. As the first light of dawn begins to touch the eastern sky, painting it with soft hues of gray, and rose the disciples of the Buddha, including his chief attendant, Ananda, emerge from their dwellings or places of meditation. They survey the scene of the previous night's festival. What greets them is a stark landscape of extinguished lamps, overturned vessels, and the lingering scent of smoke and disappointment. The vibrant sea of light has vanished, leaving behind a quiet desolation. Then their eyes are drawn to a solitary point of light, shining with a clear, unwavering brilliance in the distance. It is the woman's lamp. Curiosity piqued, and perhaps a little baffled, they approach. They see the humble clay dish, the poor quality oil that should have been exhausted hours ago, and the woman sitting peacefully nearby, her face serene. They recognize the signs of deep poverty and also the undeniable miracle of the lamp that continues to burn with such impossible steadfastness even now as the day begins. Ananda, known for his meticulous attention to the Buddha's needs and the smooth running of the monastic order, is particularly perplexed. He, along with other monks, had been responsible for overseeing the monastery's own lamps, ensuring they were well tended. Yet even some of those prepared with care had succumbed to the night's strong winds. How could this insignificant-looking lamp belonging to this impoverished woman still be burning so brightly as if freshly lit? A sense of duty and perhaps a desire to understand this unusual phenomenon prompts Ananda and the other disciples to act. They reason that with the festival now officially over and daylight approaching, all lamps should be extinguished. It is the natural order of things. And so they decide to put out this remaining flame. One of the monks, perhaps a strong young attendant, steps forward. He leans down and blows gently on the flame. Nothing happens. The flame doesn't even flicker. He blows harder, a full, strong puff of air that would extinguish any ordinary lamp instantly. The flame remains utterly serenely indifferent, burning as steadily as before. A murmur of surprise ripples through the assembled disciples. This is highly unusual. Another monk tries, perhaps using his hand to fan the flame, attempting to waft it out. Again, the flame holds its ground unwavering. They try waving a corner of a robe over it, a method commonly used to put out lamps. The little flame continues to shine with its calm, persistent light. It's as if it is protected by an invisible shield, an unseen energy that repels all their efforts. Imagine this scene: a group of learned, disciplined monks, attendants to the enlightened one himself, utterly failing to extinguish the tiniest, most humble of flames. There's a touch of gentle irony here, a sense of the cosmic order playfully upending human expectations and conventional methods. Their mundane efforts, their physical attempts to put out the light, are proving entirely ineffective. They are confronting something that operates on a different level, a power that their usual understanding cannot grasp. This moment is a beautiful illustration of the Buddhist understanding that true power does not always reside in physical strength or worldly authority. The woman's lamp is fueled by something far more potent than oil: her boundless devotion, her pure intention, her selfless sacrifice. These spiritual qualities have imbued the lamp with a resilience that transcends the ordinary laws of physics. The disciples, in their attempts to extinguish it, are inadvertently demonstrating the very strength of that spiritual fuel. Their efforts become more concerted. Perhaps they try to pinch the wick to smother the flame, but each attempt is met with the same calm, unwavering light. Frustration might begin to mingle with their bafflement. How can this be? It defies all logic, all experience. They who are accustomed to the disciplined order of monastic life are faced with a gentle, luminous defiance from the most unlikely of sources. This scene serves to highlight the extraordinary nature of the woman's offering. It's not just that her lamp survived the wind, it's that it actively resists being extinguished by direct intentional effort from multiple people. This takes the miracle to another level. It's a clear sign that something sacred, something profoundly significant, is at play. The disciples are not acting out of malice. They are simply following what they believe to be the correct procedure. But they are encountering a power that their procedures cannot contain. Think of the mind, how sometimes we try to force thoughts or feelings away, only to find they persist with even greater strength. True transformation often comes not from forceful suppression, but from understanding acceptance and a change in the underlying conditions. The disciples are trying to suppress the flame, but they do not yet understand its true source. Their efforts are external, while the lamp's strength is internal, rooted in the woman's heart. The growing group of monks, their faces a mixture of wonder and consternation, continue their futile attempts. The sun is now rising higher, its golden light beginning to flood the land, yet this small, human-made flame continues to hold its own, a tiny star that refuses to be dimmed even by the dawn. It is a testament, a visible symbol of a spiritual force that is more enduring than any physical phenomenon. Their baffled efforts only serve to amplify the lamp's mysterious power, preparing the way for the Buddha himself to offer the true explanation, to reveal the profound depth behind this simple, unwavering light. The disciples' test, though unsuccessful in its aim, succeeds in highlighting the extraordinary nature of what they are witnessing. The commotion caused by the disciples' persistent yet utterly futile attempts to extinguish the small lamp eventually reaches the ears of the Buddha. He has been in deep meditation, or perhaps observing the unfolding events with his clear, penetrating wisdom. Now he approaches the scene, his presence radiating a profound sense of peace and effortless authority. The monks, flustered and perplexed, fall silent as he nears making way for him. They look towards him with a mixture of relief and anticipation, hoping he can shed light on this inexplicable phenomenon. The Buddha's gaze rests upon the small, steadfast flame, then upon the humble woman sitting quietly nearby her face, a mixture of awe and perhaps a little trepidation at the attention her small offering is now receiving. He sees not just the physical lamp, but the heart that offered it. He sees the purity of her intention, the depth of her sacrifice, the unwavering faith that fueled this extraordinary light. His expression is gentle understanding, perhaps, with the faintest hint of a compassionate smile playing on his lips. He knows. Ananda, ever the diligent attendant and spokesman for the Sangha, steps forward and explains the situation. He recounts how all the other lamps of the festival were extinguished by the night's wind, yet this one lamp belonging to this poor woman not only survived but continues to burn with undiminished brightness. He details their repeated strenuous efforts to put it out, all of which have failed. He asks the Buddha, the fully awakened one, for an explanation. Lord, he might say, what is the meaning of this? By what power does this lamp burn so defiantly? The Buddha looks at his assembled disciples, his gaze sweeping over their earnest, questioning faces. He then speaks, his voice calm and clear, carrying the resonance of profound truth. He tells them that their efforts to extinguish this lamp are in vain. Monks, he might say, you could empty all the waters of the 4 great oceans upon this lamp, and still you would not be able to extinguish it. You could bring all the winds from the world's end to blow upon it, and still it would not be put out. Why? Because this lamp was not lit with ordinary oil alone. A hush falls over the disciples. They listen intently, their minds open to receive the teaching. The Buddha continues explaining the true nature of the fuel that sustains this remarkable flame. He speaks of the woman's heart, her boundless devotion, her selfless aspiration. He reveals that her offering, though seemingly small in material terms, was immeasurable in spiritual terms. This lamp, he proclaims, was lit with the oil of a pure and sincere heart, with a wick of unwavering faith, and with a flame of profound generosity, born of great sacrifice. He explains that such an offering, made with such purity of intention, creates a powerful karmic effect, a resonance that aligns with the very forces of goodness and truth in the universe. It is not magic in the ordinary sense, but the natural consequence of a deeply wholesome and powerful mental state. Her mind at the moment of offering was so utterly selfless, so completely dedicated, that it tapped into a source of energy far beyond the mere combustion of oil. The Buddha's gentle knowing cuts through the disciples' confusion like a ray of sunlight piercing through morning mist. They begin to understand. It is not the physical properties of the lamp that matter, but the spiritual qualities of the giver. This is a direct teaching on the power of mind, the supremacy of intention in the Buddhist path. As the Dhammapada states, Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. The woman's mind, in its state of pure devotion, wrought this miracle of light. He might then turn his compassionate gaze towards the woman herself, who has been listening with quiet reverence, perhaps overwhelmed by the Buddha's words. He acknowledges her offering not with praise that would inflate the ego, but with a recognition of its profound spiritual significance. He sees her not as a poor, insignificant woman, but as a being who has performed an act of extraordinary merit, an act that will bear fruit for lifetimes to come. The disciples are humbled. They who spend their lives studying the Dharma and practicing meditation are witnessing a living demonstration of its deepest principles through the simple act of this impoverished woman. It is a powerful lesson for them, a reminder that enlightenment and profound spiritual achievement are not the exclusive domain of monks or scholars, but are accessible to anyone who cultivates purity of heart and sincere intention regardless of their external circumstances. The Buddha's explanation doesn't just solve the mystery of the unquenchable lamp. It illuminates a fundamental truth about the spiritual path. It reveals that the greatest power lies not in external rituals or grand displays, but in the inner transformation of the heart and mind. The woman's lamp becomes a symbol of this truth, its steadfast flame, a beacon for all who seek to understand the nature of true offering and the power of a dedicated spirit. His gentle knowing has not only explained the phenomenon, but has also provided a profound teaching moment for all present and for all who would hear this story in ages to come. The mystery is dispelled, replaced by a deep sense of awe and understanding. The lamp burns on a testament to the Buddha's words and the woman's incredible heart. Having revealed that the woman's lamp was fueled by the extraordinary power of her pure heart and selfless devotion, the Buddha then delves deeper, offering a perspective that stretches far beyond the confines of this single lifetime, this single night. He begins to speak of the woman's past, of the karmic seeds that have ripened to create this remarkable moment. This is the teaching of karma and rebirth, a foundational concept in Buddhist philosophy, explaining that our present experiences are shaped by our past actions, and our present actions are shaping our future. With his clairvoyant wisdom, the Buddha looks back through the stream of the woman's previous existences, like gazing into a clear, still pond that reflects the vastness of time. He sees a long chain of lives, some perhaps difficult, some more fortunate, but all contributing to the accumulated spiritual momentum that has brought her to this point. He reveals to the astonished disciples that this act of offering a lamp was not an isolated incident of piety, but the culmination of an ancient vow, a profound aspiration made countless eons ago. Imagine the Buddha's voice calm and resonant, painting a picture of a distant past, perhaps in the time of a previous Buddha, a fully enlightened being who walked the earth long before Siddhartha Gautama. In that ancient lifetime, the woman then, perhaps, in a different form, a different social standing, had encountered that previous Buddha and had been deeply moved by his wisdom and compassion. Inspired by his radiant presence, she had made a heartfelt aspiration, a solemn vow to one day achieve enlightenment herself, not just for her own sake, but for the benefit of all beings. And crucially, she had wished to make offerings of light to all future Buddhas she might encounter as a symbol of her unwavering devotion and her desire to dispel the darkness of ignorance. This revelation adds an entirely new dimension to the story. The woman's desperate struggle to find a coin, her sacrifice to buy the meager oil and simple lamp. These actions are now seen not just as acts of this present life, but as the echoes of a promise made in the unfathomable depths of time. Her poverty in this life, which made her offering so poignant, becomes almost insignificant when viewed against the backdrop of this immense karmic history. Her spirit, her true essence, has been carrying this vow, this luminous intention across lifetimes. The disciples listen in awe. They are familiar with the concept of bodhisattva, vows the aspiration to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. They understand that such vows made with sincere intention create powerful karmic imprints that guide a being through countless rebirths, shaping their experiences and opportunities. The woman in her humble guise is revealed to be a being of immense spiritual stature, someone who has been diligently cultivating the path for an unimaginably long time. The teaching here is profound. Our present actions, even seemingly small ones, can be connected to a vast tapestry of past intentions and future potentialities. Every kind thought, every generous act, every moment of sincere practice contributes to a stream of positive energy that flows through our continuum of consciousness. The woman's unwavering desire to offer light despite her poverty was the blossoming of a seed planted long, long ago. Think of a mighty river, its course shaped by the terrain it has traversed over millennia. The woman's spiritual journey is like that river, her ancient vow being the powerful current that has guided her through the varied landscapes of many lives, always moving towards the ocean of enlightenment. Her present act of offering the lamp is a significant confluence, a point where that ancient current powerfully manifests. This also offers a deep sense of comfort and encouragement. Perhaps you have aspirations, good intentions, wishes for your own growth, or for the well-being of the world that seem difficult to achieve in this current moment. The Buddha's teaching here suggests that no sincere effort, no pure aspiration is ever lost. It is recorded in the fabric of our being in our karmic stream, and will find its moment to ripen perhaps in this life, perhaps in a future one. The key is the sincerity and persistence of the intention. The disciples now look at the woman with new eyes, with a profound respect that transcends her outward appearance of poverty. They see not just a destitute old woman, but a fellow traveler on the long path to awakening someone whose commitment has endured through ages. The unquenchable flame of her lamp is now understood not just as a miracle of this night, but as a symbol of her unquenchable spirit, her enduring vow that has burned brightly across the darkness of samsara, the cycle of birth and death. The Buddha's revelation about her past lives serves to deepen the understanding of pratyasamutpada, or dependent origination, the interconnectedness of all phenomena. Her present offering is dependent on her past vow. Its extraordinary nature is dependent on the purity of her accumulated merit. Nothing arises in isolation. Everything is part of a vast, intricate web of causes and conditions stretching across time. Her story becomes a living illustration of these profound cosmic laws, made accessible and deeply moving through the narrative of her simple yet timeless offering of light. The echoes of her past lives resonate in the steady glow of her lamp, a glow that now illuminates not just a small dark corner, but the vast sweep of her spiritual journey. Having unveiled the remarkable karmic history behind the woman's offering, the Buddha does not stop there. His compassionate gaze, which sees not only the past and the present, but also the future, now turns towards what is yet to come for this devoted soul. With the same calm certainty with which he explained the lamp's unquenchable flame and her ancient vow, he now makes a profound prophecy regarding her ultimate spiritual destiny. This is a moment of immense significance, not just for the woman, but for all who witness it, as it demonstrates the unfailing fruit of pure intention and dedicated practice. Because of this offering, the Buddha declares his voice resonating with the authority of full enlightenment, made with such a pure heart, born of such profound sacrifice, and fueled by an ancient aspiration. This woman in a future lifetime will herself become a Buddha. Imagine the impact of these words on the assembled disciples and on the woman herself. To be told by the fully awakened one that one is destined for supreme enlightenment, the highest possible attainment, is an almost incomprehensible blessing. The Buddha might then give her a name, her future Buddha name, perhaps something like Lamplight Buddha or Radiant Offering Buddha, a name that will forever commemorate this extraordinary act of devotion. He may describe the world sphere in which she will teach the qualities of the beings she will guide, and the immense benefit her future Buddhahood will bring to countless sentient beings. This isn't just a vague promise, it's a specific detailed prophecy given with the clear vision of one who understands the intricate workings of karma and the inevitable fruition of profound merit. For the woman who until this moment was likely overwhelmed by the attention, perhaps even feeling unworthy of the Buddha's presence, those words must have been like a balm, a divine reassurance that her struggles, her poverty, her deep yearning were not in vain. Her simple act of lighting a lamp, driven by the purest of motives, has set in motion causes that will lead to the ultimate liberation, not just for herself, but for all those she will eventually teach. It's a powerful affirmation of the transformative potential inherent in every single being, regardless of their current station in life. The disciples, too, are deeply moved. They are dedicated practitioners, striving daily on the path to awakening. To hear such a clear prophecy for this humble woman serves as a powerful source of inspiration and renewed diligence for their own practice. It underscores the teaching that the path to Buddhahood is open to all, and that acts of sincere devotion and selfless giving are potent means to accumulate the vast merit required for such an attainment. It's a living example of the Dharma's efficacy. This prophecy is not a bestowal of enlightenment by the Buddha. He cannot simply make someone a Buddha. Rather, it is a recognition of the causes and conditions she herself has created through her profound dedication over countless lifetimes, culminating in this incredibly pure offering. The Buddha is merely stating the inevitable result of such powerful positive karma. It's like a skilled farmer seeing a perfectly planted and tended seed and knowing with certainty that it will grow into a magnificent fruit-bearing tree. The woman has planted the seed of Buddhahood with her offering and watered it with her devotion. Consider the immense hope this prophecy offers. It tells us that no act of goodness, however small it may seem to us, is ever wasted. If an offering as humble as a single lamp given with such purity of heart, can lead to the highest spiritual goal, then every moment of kindness we show, every act of generosity we perform, every time we choose compassion over anger contributes to our own positive trajectory, our own movement towards greater wisdom and peace. Her story becomes an encouragement for all. The atmosphere around the still burning lamp is now charged with an almost palpable holiness. It is no longer just a miraculous flame, it is a beacon of a future Buddha's awakening. The woman, once an anonymous figure on the fringes of the festival, is now revealed as a bodhisattva of great standing, her future enlightenment assured. The prophecy's dawn has broken for her, illuminating her path forward with an ultimate radiant certainty. This moment encapsulates the essence of Buddhist optimism, not a naive wishfulness, but a profound understanding that positive change is always possible, that liberation is attainable, and that our actions guided by wisdom and compassion are the keys to unlocking that potential. The Buddha's words serve to seal the significance of the woman's offering, elevating it from a touching story of devotion to a profound illustration of the karmic path to Buddhahood. The prophecy also subtly teaches about the nature of time and potentiality. The future Buddha she will become is in a sense already present within her, as a seed, as a potential. Her actions are what nourish that seed. Similarly, within each of us, the potential for awakening for Buddhahood, often referred to as Buddha nature, is present. Our practice, our sincere efforts, are what allow that potential to ripen and manifest. The woman's story, crowned by this prophecy, becomes a powerful reminder to nurture our own inner light, our own potential for profound transformation. The lamp's flame, still burning brightly now, symbolizes not just past devotion, but also a luminous future, with the Buddha's profound prophecy still resonating in the morning air, and the small lamp continuing its unwavering glow. The full meaning of the woman's offering begins to settle deeply into the hearts and minds of all present. The story in its entirety becomes a powerful lens through which to reflect on the true nature of giving of dana. It gently strips away superficial understandings and illuminates the core principles that make an offering truly precious and transformative. The most obvious lesson, highlighted by the contrast between the woman's lamp and the extinguished lamps of the wealthy, is that the material value of an offering is secondary to the purity of intention and the spirit of sacrifice behind it. Her lamp was the cheapest, her oil the poorest, yet her offering was deemed supreme. This challenges our often materialistic worldview, where we tend to measure worth by quantity, by cost, by outward appearance. The Buddha's teaching, vividly illustrated here, points to an inner calculus where the currency is sincerity, devotion, and selflessness. Think about this in the context of your own life. When you give, whether it's your time, your resources, your attention, your skills, what is that underlying motivation? Is there an element of wanting recognition, of expecting something in return, even if it's just a feeling of self-satisfaction? Or is there a simple, unadorned wish to benefit, to help, to connect, to express love or reverence? The story encourages a gentle, honest self-inquiry. It's not about judging ourselves harshly, but about cultivating a greater awareness of our inner landscape, so we can align our actions more closely with our deepest, most wholesome aspirations. The woman's sacrifice is another key element. She gave not from her surplus, but from her lack. She gave what was essential for her own comfort, perhaps even her immediate well-being. This magnifies the power of her offering exponentially. It wasn't an easy gift. It cost her something significant. This doesn't mean that we must all reduce ourselves to poverty to make meaningful offerings. Rather, it points to the idea that true generosity often involves stretching beyond our comfort zone, letting go of something we might be attached to, whether it's material possessions, time, or even our ego's preferences. The willingness to make a genuine sacrifice, born from a loving or devotional heart, infuses the act of giving with profound energy. Furthermore, her offering was made without any expectation of reward or recognition. She sought a quiet, secluded spot. Her joy was in the act of giving itself in the connection with the sacred that it represented. There was no thought of impressing others, no desire for praise. This selflessness is a hallmark of pure giving. When the ego is not involved, when the act is free from the taint of I and mine, the offering becomes truly luminous. It becomes an expression of interconnectedness, of non-separation. The story also illuminates the power of unwavering faith, or shraddha. The woman's faith in the Buddha, in the power of light to dispel darkness, in the significance of her small act, was absolute. This faith wasn't a passive belief, but an active, motivating force that drove her to overcome significant obstacles. It was this faith that in a sense transformed the ordinary oil and clay into a vessel for miraculous light. In our own lives, cultivating a trusting confidence in our own innate goodness, in the efficacy of the path, in the power of love and compassion can fuel our efforts and help us overcome challenges. Reflect on the idea of making merit, a concept central to Buddhist practice. Merit is often described as the positive, wholesome energy generated by virtuous actions. The woman's offering was an act of immense merit, not because of its physical size, but because of the purity of the mind that accompanied it. This merit is not like a spiritual bank account to be hoarded, but rather a transformative energy that purifies the mind, creates positive conditions for future well-being, and propels one along the path to awakening. Her future Buddhahood is the ultimate fruition of this accumulated merit. The tale gently nudges us to consider that every moment can be an offering. The way we listen to another person, the care with which we perform a mundane task, the kindness we extend to a stranger, all these can be offerings if infused with mindfulness and pure intention. We don't need a special festival or a grand gesture. The opportunity to give, to connect, to cultivate a generous heart is always present. The lamp itself, still burning, becomes a teacher. It shows that even the smallest light, when fueled by sincerity, can outshine far greater but less heartfelt displays. It demonstrates that true strength is not about size or force, but about an inner consistency and purity. It reminds us that what truly illuminates the world and our own lives is not material wealth or status, but the radiance of a compassionate and selfless heart. This story is not just about a woman who lit a lamp. It's about the timeless wisdom of how to live a life of meaning, purpose, and profound generosity, a life where every act can become a luminous offering. As the story of the woman and her miraculous lamp unfolds, and the Buddha's teachings illuminate its deeper meanings, a gentle shift in focus occurs. The narrative, while rooted in this ancient tale, begins to turn inward towards you, the listener resting in this quiet space. The unwavering flame of her lamp, which shone so brightly in the village, now becomes a powerful metaphor for a light that exists within your own heart, your own being. This is not just a story about someone else's devotion. It is an invitation to discover and nurture your own inner radiance. The Buddha taught that all beings possess Buddha nature, the inherent potential for enlightenment, for complete wisdom and compassion. This Buddha nature is like a luminous seed, often obscured by the clouds of ignorance, attachment, and aversion, the defilements or kilesas. But it is always there untarnished, waiting to be uncovered. The woman's lamp, in its steadfast purity, can be seen as a beautiful external symbol of this inner indestructible light that resides within you. Just as her lamp was fueled by pure intention and selfless devotion, your own inner lamp is nourished by cultivating similar qualities. Think of moments in your life when you have acted from a place of genuine kindness without expectation of reward. Remember times when you have felt a deep sense of connection, compassion, or a quiet, heartfelt aspiration for something greater than your everyday concerns. These are the moments when your inner lamp glows more brightly. Her struggle to obtain the oil and the lamp, her sacrifice can also resonate with your own journey. Perhaps there have been times when cultivating your better nature required effort, when being kind or patient or generous felt like a sacrifice going against the grain of old habits or immediate self-interest. These efforts, these sacrifices of egoic tendencies, are precisely what clear away the dust and grime that obscure your innate radiance. Each act of letting go of choosing a more wholesome path allows your inner light to shine more clearly. The wind that extinguished the other lamps but could not touch hers can be likened to the challenges and negativities of the world, or even the turbulent thoughts and emotions within your own mind. When your inner light is weakly fueled by fleeting moods or external validation, it can easily be disturbed or extinguished by life's difficulties. But when it is rooted in a deeper understanding, in genuine self-compassion, in a consistent practice of mindfulness and ethical conduct, it becomes more resilient, more steadfast, like her unwavering flame. Consider the core teaching of mindfulness sati. It is the practice of paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment. This gentle, non-judgmental awareness is like the steady hand that shields the flame. It allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them, to see the challenges of life without being overwhelmed. Mindfulness helps you to tend your inner lamp, to ensure its wick is trimmed, clarity of mind, and its fuel is pure, wholesome intentions. The story invites a moment of gentle self-reflection. Is your inner lamp burning brightly right now, or does it feel a little dim? There is no judgment in this question, only a kind curiosity. If it feels dim, perhaps it simply needs a little more fuel, a moment of self-kindness, a conscious decision to cultivate a positive quality or a return to a practice that nourishes you. If it feels bright, acknowledge that, feel its warmth, and know that this light is your true nature. The prophecy of the woman's future Buddhahood is also a prophecy for you, in a sense, not necessarily that you will become a named Buddha in a future eon, but that the potential for profound awakening, for deep peace and wisdom is alive within you. Her journey from poverty and struggle to the assurance of enlightenment is a testament to the transformative power of sincere effort and pure heart, a power that is equally available to you. You don't need to perform a grand visible miracle. The lighting of your inner lamp is often a quiet internal process. It happens in the small choices you make each day, the choice to forgive rather than hold a grudge, to be patient rather than reactive, to offer a word of encouragement, to sit in quiet contemplation, even for a few minutes. Each of these acts adds a drop of precious oil to your inner lamp. The story of the woman who lit a lamp for the Buddha is ultimately a story about you, about the luminous potential that lies at the core of your being. Her lamp is a mirror, reflecting your own capacity for unwavering light. As you rest here, breathing gently, feel for that inner glow, however subtle it may seem. It may be a warmth in your chest, a sense of quiet peace, a feeling of gentle knowing. This is your inherent goodness, your Buddha nature, your own unquenchable flame. It doesn't need to be created. It only needs to be recognized, nurtured, and allowed to shine. Let the image of her steadfast lamp be a reminder that this light within you too can burn brightly, steadily, illuminating your path through all the winds and darknesses of life. Now, as you feel the gentle resonance of that inner light, that unwavering flame discovered within your own heart, the invitation of the story shifts once more. It's not enough to simply recognize this inner lamp. The teachings gently encourage us to carry this light, this awareness, this awakened quality into our waking world, into our daily lives. The meditation, the story, the quiet insights gained in these still moments are not meant to be kept separate like precious jewels locked away in a dark box. They are meant to inform, to soften, to illuminate the way we engage with every aspect of our experience. Remember the woman's lamp, how it shone steadily not just for herself, but also became a beacon for the disciples and through the Buddha's teachings for countless generations. Similarly, your own inner light, when tended and allowed to shine naturally, benefits not only you, but also those around you, often in ways you may not even realize. A calm presence, a kind word, a patient ear. These are all expressions of that inner light rippling outwards. Carrying this light gently means approaching your day with a little more mindfulness, a little more intention. It's like walking carefully with a lit candle shielding it from harsh winds, yet allowing its glow to light your path and perhaps the path of others. It doesn't mean you have to become a solemn saint overnight or preach from a soapbox. The most profound way to carry this light is often through the quiet consistency of your actions, the quality of your presence. Think of the teachings on sila, or ethical conduct, the practice of abstaining from harm, cultivating honesty, generosity, and right speech. These are not just restrictive rules, but active ways to protect and nurture your inner flame. When you choose words that are kind and true, when you act with integrity, when you are mindful of the impact of your actions on others, you are essentially trimming the wick and adding pure oil to your lamp, allowing it to burn more brightly and clearly. The gentleness aspect is crucial. Carrying your light is not about brandishing it like a weapon or using it to judge others whose lights may seem dimmer. Remember the humility of the woman in the story. Her light shone with quiet confidence, not with arrogance. True spiritual development often expresses itself as increased humility, compassion, and an understanding of the struggles of others. If your practice leads to a sense of superiority, then perhaps the light you are carrying is more of the ego's making. The true light is warm, inclusive, and understanding. Consider how you might meet the inevitable challenges of your day, the frustrations, the disappointments, the moments of conflict. Can you bring a little of the steadfastness of that lamp to these situations? Can you pause, breathe, and connect with that quiet inner center before reacting? This is carrying your light into the storms of life. It doesn't mean the storms won't happen, but it means you navigate them with greater stability, less likely to be extinguished by reactivity or despair. Remember the metaphor of the lotus leaf from earlier, perhaps, or the idea of the clear pond. Just as the lotus leaf allows water to roll off without becoming wet, a mind touched by this inner light can allow difficult experiences to pass through without clinging to them, without letting them define your inner state. You remain anchored in that quiet, knowing presence. This practice of carrying the light is an ongoing one, a moment-to-moment cultivation. There will be times when your flame flickers, when you forget, when you fall back into old patterns. This is perfectly human. The key is self-compassion, the gentle shepherd guiding the lamb back. Each time you remember, each time you reconnect with your intention to live from a place of greater awareness and kindness, you are strengthening your capacity to carry that light. Imagine your breath as a bellows gently fanning your inner flame. With each conscious, mindful breath, you are reaffirming your connection to this light. When you speak, try to let your words carry a little of its warmth. When you listen, try to listen from that quiet, attentive space. When you act, try to let your actions be guided by its wisdom and compassion. The story of the woman who lit the lamp doesn't end with the Buddha's prophecy. In a way, it continues in you each time you choose to honor your own inner capacity for goodness, for clarity, for unwavering presence. Her lamp was a single point of light that illuminated a profound truth. Your life lived with gentle awareness and heartfelt intention can also become a beacon contributing to the collective illumination of the world, one quiet, steadfast flame at a time. This is not a heavy burden, but a joyful opportunity, the chance to let your truest, brightest self shine through, carried gently, consistently into all the corners of your life. And so, as our journey with this story, this meditation draws towards its gentle close, we arrive at a place of quiet integration. The image of the woman's steadfast lamp, her profound devotion, the Buddha's illuminating wisdom, and the discovery of your own inner light. All these threads begin to weave together, creating a tapestry of peaceful understanding within you. The external story with its vivid scenes and ancient teachings now dissolves, merging seamlessly with the inner radiance it has helped to awaken. There is no longer a separation between the lamp in the story and the light within your heart. They are one and the same reflections of an eternal truth that purity of intention, selfless giving, and unwavering faith have the power to illuminate even the deepest darkness, to withstand any storm. The light of her lamps, which defied the wind and the efforts of the disciples, becomes a symbol of the indestructible nature of your own Buddha nature, your inherent goodness, which can never truly be extinguished, only temporarily obscured. Feel this gentle merging, this sense of wholeness. The peace that emanated from the woman as she sat by her miraculous flame, the peace that radiated from the Buddha as he taught. This same peace is available to you now as you rest in the quiet glow of your own being. It is not something you need to strive for, but something you can simply allow sinking into it, as you would sink into a soft, welcoming bed. The teaching on anatta, or non-self, whispers gently here. The light is not your light in an egoic sense, just as the woman's offering transcended her personal identity to connect with something universal. This radiant awareness, this peaceful presence, is a quality of unconditioned reality itself, shining through the particular form that is you. By letting go of the sense of a fixed, separate self, you allow this universal light to shine more freely, more brilliantly. Imagine that the light of the woman's lamp, that clear, steady flame, is now expanding. It grows from a single point, filling the space around her, then the entire village, and now it expands beyond, becoming a vast, luminous ocean of light. And you are floating in this ocean, held supported and completely suffused by its gentle, healing radiance. Every cell of your being is bathed in this light, every worry dissolved, every tension released. There is only light, peaceful and all-encompassing. The details of the story, the poverty, the sacrifice, the wind, the prophecy, become like ripples on the surface of this ocean, momentarily distinct, then reabsorbed into the vast calm expanse. What remains is the essence, the enduring power of a pure heart, the unwavering nature of true light. This essence is now a part of you, integrated into the very fabric of your awareness. As you drift in this ocean of light, allow any remaining thoughts to simply be bubbles rising to the surface and gently popping, disappearing without a trace. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out. The wisdom of the story has seeped into you, not as intellectual understanding, but as a felt sense, a deep bodily knowing. You are that light. You are that peace. The sounds around you, the sensations in your body, the gentle rhythm of your breath, all are now part of this luminous peace. There is no distinction, no separation. Everything is interconnected, bathed in the same soft, unwavering glow. This is the state of samadhi, of profound concentration and oneness, where the observer and the observed merge into a single harmonious field of awareness. Let the energy of the woman's devotion, her unwavering faith, continue to resonate within you, not as an effort, but as a gentle background hum, a quiet assurance that this inner light is always accessible. Remember the Buddha's gentle knowing, his compassionate wisdom, and feel that same quality of understanding and acceptance dawning within your own heart for yourself and for all beings. The story has served its purpose. It has been a skillful means, a raft to carry you across a river of distraction to the shore of profound stillness and inner light. Now you can gently let go of the raft and simply rest on the shore, abiding in the radiance that has been revealed. This light is your true home, your deepest nature. Dissolving into this radiance, you are dissolving into the essence of peace itself, into the heart of awakening. The journey of the lamp has become your journey, and its destination is this moment of luminous, effortless being, preparing you for the deepest, most restorative sleep. And now, as the story gently fades, like the last embers of a sacred fire, allow its warmth, its light, its profound peace to settle ever more deeply within you. The journey we have taken together through the moonlit temple gardens, into the heart of a village festival, and into the presence of a simple woman's extraordinary offering, has been a journey into the heart of wisdom itself. Feel the lingering essence of her devotion, the unwavering flame that defied the strongest winds. Let that steadfastness become a part of your own inner landscape, a quiet knowing that a pure heart holds an unshakable strength. The Buddha's gentle words, illuminating the path of karma, the power of intention, and the promise of awakening, echo softly now, not as doctrines to be memorized, but as loving guidance absorbed into your very cells. The light we spoke of, the light, she kindled the light that is your own true nature, continues to glow. It is a soft, pervasive radiance, filling the space where you rest, dissolving any remaining shadows, any lingering tensions. There is nothing left to do now, nothing to achieve. You have arrived. You are home in this boundless peace. Let your breath be your anchor, each inhalation drawing in more tranquility, each exhalation releasing anything that no longer serves you, carrying it away on a gentle tide. The body is heavy, relaxed, sinking ever more deeply into the support beneath it. The mind is quiet still, like a deep mountain lake on a windless night, reflecting the pure starlight of your inherent awareness. Gratitude arises perhaps for this moment of stillness, for the gift of story, for the enduring wisdom that guides us towards peace. Allow that gratitude to bathe you in its warmth, a soft blessing as you prepare to drift into the embrace of deep restorative sleep. You are held. You are safe. You are surrounded by a universe of benevolent, peaceful energy. The imagery dissolves now like mist in the morning sun. The story becomes a gentle memory, its lessons woven into the quiet tapestry of your soul. All that remains is this profound sense of peace, this luminous stillness, this effortless being. Sweet dreams.